Hi, today we're taking a look at the archaeology. You're gonna dig for treasures, you're gonna sell them to museum to get more money, basically points. You wanna be a best archaeologist and maybe even discover new rooms, new chambers in the pyramids and discover some ancient, really expensive artifacts. Who knows? So let's take a look at the archaeology. Archaeology is a really simple card game with set collection aspect. Quite much luck, but I do like it here. So in this game you are digging for treasure, collecting different artifacts, so you can sell them to museum to get the most points. You can trade in the market as well, the local market and so on, but you have some hazards coming up as well, so it depends. There's a luck involved in most of the aspect of this game. But how the game is played. First of all, each one of you will have a starting hand of cards. 4 cards at the beginning of the turn. And I'll explain you what each card has. Not what each card has, but basically what's on the cards. So, as you can see here, this is the value of the cards whenever you want to trade it in the market. I'll talk about it a bit later. Here we have how many cards there are in this deck. So there are a total of 16 cards in this deck. And this is the sell value. So if you sell one of that type of cards into a museum, you get 1 victory points, 2, 3. But if you sell 4 of them as a collection, you get 10 victory points. So basically more is better in every card. For example, with the coins, as you can see, you get only 6 points if you sell 2, but if you sell 5 you get 30 points. So it's a big win. Now you also have a 10 cards. The 10 cards can be used against the storm. In the deck there are storm cards that can occur. When the storm occurs, you're gonna lose half of the cards in your hand. That's really bad, unless you use a tent. Tent is a one-time use, and depending on the number of players, there are 4 to 6 storm cards. So the tent will only make you prevent only 1 storm. So when you use it, you're gonna discard it. That's it. How you play the game itself. On your turn, first of all, you need to dig for treasures. You're gonna draw a card. You draw a card, and afterwards, now what you can do. First of all, you can change goods in the market, and that's where the value comes in. For example, I don't need this talisman right now, but I really need spot shards and parchment scrap. I can trade this one of value 3 to the same value in the market. So for example, if I put this one in the market, and now I can take up to 3 value or less, but basically, basically up to 3 value from the market into my hands. So 3 and 3, it's really easy. What you give, you're gonna get back. I could take like 1 of the pot shards and 1 of the coins. It's a total value of 3, doesn't really matter. So you can trade as much as you want. The second thing you can do, you can sell to museum. For example, let's say I had already 4 coins. I was thinking like, I don't really want to risk, maybe somebody will pull out a storm and I'm gonna lose all the coins, so I'm gonna sell them to the museum. That's basically putting these cards in front of you, and these are the points, these are the guaranteed points you're gonna get. You put them in front of you, you have 4 coins, 20 points, that's guaranteed, nobody can take them from you. The third thing you can do, and you can do it only once per turn, and this can be done with the map cards, and we can see the map cards here. So there are a total of 6 map cards in the deck, and their value of 3. If you sell them to museum, their value of 3. Not really good. The map cards are good for digging for treasure in the special spot here. For example, right now there are different tiles, but this one is the basically beginner style, the Great Pyramids. So there are 3 chambers in the Great Pyramids. You have a chamber where you can use 1 map card to choose from 2 cards. To take 2 cards. 2 map to get 5 cards. 3 to get 8 cards. So basically, if I had, if I had 2 map cards, I could use them, discard them, to get a stack of 5 cards. I don't know what cards there are inside, but basically these are extra cards. These are also all the artifacts that can be there. So I got some really cool stuff. I got, for example, the Pharaoh's Mask. That's really expensive. There are only 4 of them, but if you get all 4, you're gonna get 50 points if you sell them to museum. So getting 5 extra hand, it's really cool. So that's the third thing you can do. You can do it only once per turn. So that's the whole game. You dig for treasure, and then you're gonna trade some cards in the markets. You're gonna maybe sell them into the museum, or if you have map cards, you can use them to dig for treasure in the special chamber. So the cards that we basically have, the storm cards that I was talking about, here are the storm cards. Basically, if on your turn somebody will draw a storm card, storm occurs. If somebody wants to use the tent, they're going to use the tent. If they don't have a tent, or they don't want to use the tent, they're going to use half the cards, rounded down. And then that player who drew a storm card will continue and draw away another card. Because basically the storm card doesn't count as a digging for treasure. But he can always be unlucky and get another storm card. So as soon as he gets something else besides storm cards, he's good. What else you can get from the deck? There are some of the thief cards. For example, if you play a 2-player game, we get 4 thief cards. If you draw a thief card, you have to use it right away. You're gonna discard this card, and now you can take 1 card from any player's hands. Steal a card. That's it. Nothing really difficult in here. And you're not gonna draw a card afterwards, because basically the turn itself is all about getting 1 card at least. So with thief you're gonna get a card. So, and now the chambers. As I told you about the Great Pyramids, this is the simple chamber, but there are other chambers, right? For example, the temple. After selling to the museum, look at all the cards in 1 chamber. So you can look at the cards. Basically, you can still get cards for 2 and 2 maps. But you can, after selling to the museum, you can look at one of the stacks. Maybe you will find really good one that you really want. Otherwise, you'll be lucky. Or buried ruins. Make a pile of 12 face-down treasure cards. When a sandstorm card is drawn, add 1 of these to each chamber face up. So basically, you have face-down of 12 cards. You're gonna, each time the storm appears, it's gonna bring more artifacts with itself. So, or a thumb, you have 7 and 8 card stack. There is, with 1 treasure, look at all cards in 1 chamber, keep any 2. So that's really cool. And there are different ones. So there's Mine, Sphinx, Temple, Buried Ruins, and Great Pyramids. And that's it. That's how you play the game. And whoever has the most points at the end of the game, by, of course, looking at the scores down, whatever you have sold to museum, who has the most points is the winner of the game. So there is the Archaeology. Now it's a new expedition. That's the new edition of the old game. I haven't played the old game, but a new game is cool. I'm going to tell you this up front. It's cool. I like all sorts of card games. I like filler type games as well. This one is filler type. It takes a little bit more time maybe than it should take, but on the other hand, it's so simple. On your turn, you're gonna dig for treasure. Basically, you're gonna draw a card, and then you can trade, you can sell to museum, but that's basically just trying to get your set collection done. That's it. But there's a negative thing as well. Sometimes you get really unlucky. You get unlucky by drawing a storm card, and you will lose valuable cards. Or let's say you get 2 storm cards in straight, then what you're gonna do, you only have one tent, you're gonna use one tent, then another storm card comes up. What you gonna do then? Nothing, you're just gonna discard cards, and if you have 6 cards, you're gonna discard 3 of them. That's harsh. Or somebody gets a thief card and steals a random card from you, and that random card is Pharaoh's Mask. That's really important. You already had 3 Pharaoh's Mask, you needed the 4th one, and somebody steals it from you. It's really, yeah, it's really nasty, and it's a lot of random in here. But I like that. It has this taste of the push your luck. Not really. It's not a push your luck because you basically have to draw a card. It's not like you draw cards until you want. There is one chamber that has a push your luck element as well, but basically, even with that luck, it feels so fast that you don't feel that grief. You don't feel disappointed by getting a bad hand of cards, and you always can trade with the common markets. Maybe you will get luck at some point and get the thief cards and then steal a card from somebody else. Or maybe the storm comes up and you only have 1 card. So 1 card is half a card. Round it down, 0 cards. You're not going to discard 1 card. The others had more cards. They're going to discard all the cards, and then you feel like, so that's really cool. There's not much to say about this one. There's not much strategy. You're gonna look at what you have and trying to get as many points as you basically can. The thing is now, the push, like basically there is a push your luck feeling to it, because what cards are you gonna keep and when you're gonna sell the cards to museum? That's really important. For example, you have 3 coins, 3 coin cards, 3 artifacts. You can sell them right now because maybe the storm will come up and then you're going to lose the cards. But you want to get more of them, more of the coins. I don't remember, was it 6 maybe? You want to get all 6, let's say. But it's a risk. Maybe the storm will come up and you're going to lose these cards. So that's a risk management, you know, the push your luck elements. Will you sell for the cards right now for the lower points, or will you risk and try to sell to get more of the same type of cards, to sell them for a higher price to get more points, basically? So that's the thing. I really like this aspect. I think that's my favorite aspect. What I also like, there are different chambers that have different special abilities, and that's really cool. When you get the map, when you dig for treasures, you are looking for the map. You're really looking for the map. All you want to have is the map, basically, at some point. Because there might be some really cool cards. There might be just garbage cards, like the cards valued 1. But they can be really cool, like Pharaoh's Mask, and some more important cards can be in the chambers as well. So, and these are extra cards. Sometimes you're gonna get a whole pile of them. So that's really cool. I really like that aspect. I really like that the chambers are different, so you can play different game each time. But it comes up to basic set collection, all in all. The production quality is good. The box is sturdy. It's a really good thick box. The cards themselves are really nice. I like it. I don't really like the edges, but at least it has linen finish and the cards are sturdy as well. And it's a really simple insert. You have inserts, at least there is some insert. Basically, you have 2 holes for the cards. That's it. And then you don't have to have anything. So it's a really streamlined. It's also a family, even with the storm and some thief cards. It's a family style game. Maybe you can play without the thief cards. You can take the thief cards out of the deck, play without them if you are scared that it's a bit too nasty to have thief cards. But I like it. I like this. This is a bit of that risk element as well. So you're gonna keep the cards in your hand. You're not gonna sell them right now because you want to get more of that item. But then somebody steals one of these items from you. So it's really cool. I like it. So think of it yourself. You can do all different variants. So I really recommend this game. It's a cheap, small, filler type, family style, just really cool game with cool artwork. The old edition had really bad artwork as I looked at the pictures. This one has really cool artwork. Theme is basically non-existent, but doesn't really matter. because it's really a fast field type game. So I really recommend this one, Archaeology, the new expedition.